if you're a Night Elf player, go ahead and base rush, especially if you have bears and, you know, a Beastmaster that can summon stuff. Just because, like, they do so much more damage, and the fact that you know how many buildings they have and you know where they are just makes it so much more difficult for, you know, the human player to base rush you, because you can actually uproot a tree and kind of run it away, and you can build trees in so much odd places and then just kind of like hide them, so it makes it really difficult for the human player to base rush. And yeah, as a Night Elf player, just kind of base rushing them is fine. Be okay with that. I will point out that I didn't really commentate on this, but at one point you did see the Pendant of Energy actually on the floor. The reason being, he was actually using a Clarity. It kind of struck me as odd the first time. I was like, wait, why is he drop? Oh. So, you know, if you saw him drop the Pendant of Energy, it was to use the Clarity Potion. And the reason that you do that is because when you actually put the Pendant of Energy back on, it's based on percentages of mana. So, yeah, thought you should know. The human player doesn't now have Magic Sentry, though, which is good. And I will point out is that the Archmage is kind of creeping right now. And reason being, it's kind of close to his towers, which is the only buildings he really has left, besides, you know, the farms that are dying. But it's kind of important to know that if you can creep, do creep. Even if you're losing the game, I mean, you do know where your opponent is right now, because they're bashing on your buildings. But, like, yeah, just gaining as much experience as possible is a good thing, because he actually does have a hero level advantage. If you notice, level 6 Mountain King and level 5 Archmage versus an almost level 7 Beastmaster and level 3 Panda Brewmaster. Level 5 is just vicious. He did go Brilliance or level 3, which was weird. I would have gone Blizzard level 3, but that's just me. So, also the one thing to note with Night Elf is that you can actually, well, he is expoing right now, but you can actually fight with your trees. And the reason that setting up an expo right now is actually, like, impossible for the human player to take down is because, well, I mean, the human player did decide to sell off some items, but the reason it's impossible to take down is because you have so few buildings compared to the Night Elf that, like, if you decide to run across the, you know, the map to try and take it out, they have the ability to run also across the map, and since it's Echo Isles, there's a couple places you can run, so you can kind of sneak behind trees or just blatantly run out in front or kind of run above the tavern and kind of do a loop over and kind of take out their expo. And when you have a hawk, you can just kind of fly it around and know where they are anyways. So, yeah, I thought you should know that's kind of important. Once again, Panda leveling up, always important to creep. I don't believe there's any creeps left except, like, 2 trolls at the top. Yeah, that's definitely all the creeps left. So, at this point, Moon has decided to fight. I would have stalled it off as much as possible, but obviously if they're setting up an expo too, it's kind of important to know that they could indeed take it out. But once again, with the Hawk Scout, if you see the heroes kind of zooming across to try and take out your Tree of Life, just go ahead and run right back over there. You know, this is where the Wand of Illusion comes in. And watch this. Stampede and just rape. You can't stay and fight that. As a human player, you're just going to lose so many units. It's just because Stampede does so much damage. And it just kind of makes it impossible for the human player to win. Because not only are his heroes all the way across the map, but just Stampede's going to take out your base on its own. So that's kind of the ending move of that game, is the Stampede of awesomeness. So, yeah, the important thing in that game was actually the Hawk Scout, which actually proved to be so much more useful than, you know, I thought it would be when I started watching this replay. I was like, level 3 Hawk, what the hell? But yeah, with the invisible scout that you can have flying around, it's just good to know where their army is so that you can know when to strike. And that's a really, really important part of, well, friggin' any matchup. Because, you know, obviously if you have really good timing, you're going to be that much more ahead than your opponent. I mean, obviously, if you have godlike micro, too, that's, you know, important. Thank you for listening.
Hey guys, it's Joseki, bringing you the second game of Moon vs. TH1000, and it's going to be on Turn a Stand. It's kind of a longish game type of thing. It's really long. It has really high level MK, really high level DR, charming, all that good shit. 2-minute mark for that, by the way. And yeah, so this is gonna be on turn of stand. It's gonna be kind of, again, unorthodox. You're gonna see TH1000 doing his nifty little Mountain King first, which is really again a conditional play. He's going Mountain King based on the fact that he's well aware and well knowing that Moon is going to be going Dark Ranger. Mountain King pretty much rapes Dark Ranger on all levels. Just intelligence hero versus Bolt, and like you don't get the since you don't have Brilliance Aura, at least immediately. If you choose to go Archmage second, you can get Brilliance Aura. Since you don't have Brilliance Aura so quickly, you have to go an early shop, and that's why he needs an expansion to sort of make up for the fact that he's spending all this money, which would otherwise just be regenerated mana from like Brilliance Aura, but he has to spend all this money in Clarities, all that good stuff to sort of, yeah, pay for his MK. I would say this game's going to be pretty similar in the content to the first game. I'm going to try and go over some new stuff. Maybe I'll do a little like casual shoutcasting, not like a lot. Obviously, it's an audio. But try and like spice it up, maybe throw some jokes out there. Anyway, I'm going to unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. So as you can see, he did pick MK, and if you'll notice something else, he doesn't, I don't think he goes to creep the lab. The thing about it is, I guess, since he's going MK, he wants to power level. He can always creep the lab later, I guess he's thinking, and if he can go ahead and creep this now, then basically what he's doing is getting his MK to an instant level 2, as opposed to having to creep the one camp, then once you creep that camp, you move to the next camp, creep that, and then expand. I think mainly with the goal of what he's doing here is to just get his MK to level 2 even faster, because you can still creep this camp very quickly, I would say just in the time frame or less time, than you would creeping the lab and then the green. I think one of the main benefits to creeping the lab is you get an early reveal to scout on Night Elf Fast Expo, and you get you know, just all the benefits, the Shredder, the Zeppelin. So I mean, there's good benefits going lab, but I think in this case, there's really nothing particularly wrong with going this route, especially with MK, because he's essentially just power creeping. He needs level 3. It's sort of the magic level for MK, because level 1 Bolt, I mean, it's not to be underestimated. You can just get hero surrounds, things like that, but level 2 Bolt like takes half the health down on an int hero, especially a Dark Ranger, who's like, at level 1 is 550 HP, like a 150 damage Bolt surround dead, or a TP. So you really, the way you have to figure it is what you're doing in order to, way you gotta balance it out is sort of like, okay, well I could creep this and I can get the Shredder or the Zeppelin, etc. Or I could creep this, get into level 2 instantly, closer to level 3, and just go and creep that out anyway later. I think you might actually just creep it out with Militia and no hero there later. I don't know. I don't really remember the replay all that well. I watched it in like 2 times, I think. One of the main things here, this is sort of an important camp to learn how to creep well. You gotta focus the Renegade Wizard early with your foots, because it casts light, and you want to try and not be too animate about focusing the Enforcers until the main Wizard, the Renegade Wizard, has casted Purge, because otherwise you're gonna get a lightning shield up your ass, and to be totally honest, he's gonna kill every single one of your peasants, and is the gayest, most annoying thing on the fucking planet. Like, I've seriously these games, like, okay, I go into ladder, searching, okay, I'm gonna power build and creep that out really quick, blah blah blah, I'm human, I'm imbalanced, I'm gonna tower my shit, and then I'm like, oops, I can't tower my shit, because I just lost 8 peasants to a fucking lightning shield. God damn it. I'm sure many of you have experienced the horridness of that. It absolutely sucks. But as you can see, basically what he just did, he bolted the DR, and he's wearing it down. There's nearly no reason he really is not gonna be able to get us around, but I think the way he figures it, if he just bolts stuff he can kill, and he just like works at it, then he'll be alright. If you notice, he's gonna lose his Expo. Without Water Elementals and without enough foots and a low HP MK, he's really not gonna have anything to stop Moon's archers. One thing TH1000 could have done is canceled those towers. I mean, it's not as if he was gonna save them, but it's important to see that the skeletons here of Moon basically won it for him. If he just had archers, TH1000 might have actually opted to fight. I think TH1000's defend is a little late. I get defend after my 4th footman. I think that's the smart route, because even if they come early, you'll still have 4 foots and defend, which is better than 5 foots, in my opinion, especially versus archers, obviously, because archers, it's like,